Hey guys, it's Intuitive 144. I am a psychic medium along with being a physical medium. This is going to be very important in this video because and guys, please don't skip this, but I don't know what's going on, but my body gets used. Oh my god, you see my egghead? Yes, okay, we're not going to be insecure. No, my body just gets used. Like, I remember before I started, before I was blessed with being able to, look at people and read them. I remember having, like, it wasn't even dreams. It literally felt like I was being possessed by millions of souls. Like, millions of souls were, like, piercing through my body. And then blah, 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 here I am today, blah, 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 being able to read people, blah, 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 right? But they have no boundaries. Maybe I don't know how to set them, blah, 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 blah. But so I'm not sleeping because I don't feel like I ever really sleep. Oh my God, look at all the dust. But I don't feel like I ever really sleep. It's more so of just closing my eyes. One, because I have sleeping issues, but two, I'm always hearing voices. I'm always seeing visions. So it's like when you guys have a session with me for an hour, you go on about your day. It's like I am reading people all the time. Anyways, and so I guess I'm dreaming, right? And I'm dreaming, I'm feeling like claustrophobic, which I never really feel. And so I'm saying to myself, well, maybe my neck is angled in a bad way, or maybe there's like a blanket covering my nose. Because why do I feel like I'm starting to drown? And my neck started feeling tighter and tighter. And then I guess woke up and I gasped. And as I gasped for air, I hear the ocean, and then I hear wade in the water. So I felt very guided to do the Igbo landing story. If I'm mispronouncing the word, please don't hang me. I was going to look it up to, hear how I should pronounce it, but I don't like to look up anything. I like to blind read people and blind read things, and then do the research later. So this is what I received, but I do know for the most part that it was a mass suicide, right? I do know that. But before I get into it, I know we're 2 minutes into it. An hour, $144 for an hour, or $72 for a 30-minute reading, unless you want to take advantage of my $60 sale. It ends for an hour. It ends in February, the end of February. Let's begin, because I'm 3 minutes in and you guys are probably skipping through this. All right. Oh my God, I'm just needing makeup. Why does my face look? Oh, it's okay. So let's talk about the Igbo landing story, right? So as I'm meditating on their energy, and it was, so usually I'm able to, usually it takes me about 30 minutes to start to see visions, especially like if I'm meditating on someone that I don't know what they look like, or like a celebrity, right? To see visions, but I was able to slip into it very fast, okay? It's like within 10 seconds. And there were many descendants present. It looked like 15, but I couldn't make out their faces, okay? They were all silhouettes, okay? But there was one man that was stepping forward. I wasn't able to, see his face. He was a silhouette, but he had more of like an ancient look to him rather than the rest. So maybe he was the leader back then. I'm not too sure. But he told me his name was Kufo, or at least that's what I heard. And he was mainly, speaking for the rest of the descendants, right? The silhouettes, okay? And in the vision, he looked to be very fit. He looked like he was dark chocolate or milk chocolate, dark skin, brown skin. He wasn't that tall, maybe 5'9", very physically built, muscular, kind of muscular, but just muscular, okay? He had a rough yet healthy look to him, okay? His teeth looked great, and he looked to be about 27 to 33, all right? And then because I'm very nosy, okay? If any of you guys have ever booked me, you know that I am very nosy. I try my best to ask all of the questions, blah, blah, blah. And so, as I'm getting ready to ask him a question, I hear him say, death didn't hurt at all. It was more so panic than it was peace. Okay. And then I heard a feminine energy, feminine voice, because sometimes they don't speak in voices, they speak through energy. I know that sounds crazy, but have you ever heard the wind call your name, or have you ever dropped something and whatever hit the floor sounded like it was a word? Like, that's how I hear things, okay, sometimes. But I heard, we waited for the waters to be rough. So I think what they mean by this is maybe, when there's a storm or something. So it just felt like they waited for a storm. Also, I heard the kids were also taken, and 2 infants as well. Okay, felt like one woman was pregnant, so maybe that could be considered I don't know, but that's what I picked up on. Okay, then I heard mental delirium. All right, so I think this is when spirit is trying to help me understand them even more, because sometimes, and I'm a baby medium, I think. Yeah, last week made a year of me being able to do this. Okay. But they showed me a vision. So I think this is when spirit is trying to help me understand what they're saying, because spirit showed me a vision of an Igbo enslaved person staring with their eyes wide open at the things that were happening before them, right? And this is prior to them getting / being forced / being tricked onto the ship, okay? And his eyes are very huge, and he just looks like in shock. Like, it's kind of like how my nose, sometimes when I channel, my nose itches. But you know how there was a story, no, this was a movie. It was a scene in a movie where a little girl was being told, like, get out of the water, there's a shark. And a lot of people were leaving the water, right? And she's just standing still, like staring at this shark. And so I think it's like flight or fight. Or no, fight, I don't know. But sometimes when a person is in shock, they stay still and they don't physically move, or they're just, it's not even taken in the moment. It's just how their body processes trauma, deals with stress, right? And so in the vision, he was just taken aback. Is it taken aback or taken back? From what he was seeing. All right. And there was a lot of murders going on. Sometimes it's hard to speak and then hear them at the same time. So if I stutter, if I fuck up a word, it's because of that. All right. But yeah, so in the vision, I'll insert a picture here at 7:46. His eyes were extremely huge, and he was going mentally insane. So for example, someone could hold a gun at you, right? Someone could hold a gun to your head, and you may be able to get over that in a week. But for some people, you can hold a toy gun at their head, and that can fuck them up for the rest of their life. Some people are able to bounce back from rape. Some people are able to bounce back from getting shot. Some people are not. And I don't sense that this young man was, okay? He mentally couldn't take it. Then I heard, oh, that's my food. Then I heard it wasn't peaceful. It was an uproar. So it wasn't peaceful with them. They fought back. A lot of people, unfortunately, were killed. They fought back. And so because I wrote this, I typed this on my I spoke it into my recorder. And so I completely forgot that what I just said, I asked them. And so I asked them, did you fight back? Then I heard some did, but many were isolated. And I'm like, isolate? I know what the word isolated means, but I didn't understand what it meant for them. I'm like, isolated? How could you be isolated? And so I had a hard time understanding this. So I Googled what this meaning could mean, right? And this is what popped up. So with them saying I couldn't fight back. So he specifically, the guy that I'm talking to, couldn't fight back because of isolation. So this refers to being unable to defend oneself or stand up for oneself due to being isolated, whether physically, emotionally, or socially. Okay. Now, isolation can mean being removed from supportive environments like family, friends, or community, which makes it harder to seek help or gain strength from others. It can also refer to emotional isolation where someone feels disconnected and unsupported. So earlier, I was talking about how he's just mentally, like mental delirium popped up. And, let's say you're like in an ocean, right, with 10 people that know how to swim, and you're being told, listen, you got to jump off this ship. We're going to help you. Even though you don't know how to swim, we're going to help you. We're going to, carry you along the, to the shore, blah, blah, blah. But you have to jump off. And it's like, it's just like your body is not processing what's happening, because even though you know that you're surrounded by great swimmers, you know that you cannot swim. So you don't jump, you just stay still. So does that make sense? Hello? Does it make sense? Okay. So yeah, so it just someone that feels disconnected and unsupported, and making it difficult to express their feelings or assert boundaries. Okay. Now let's move on to the next message. And you see my dog in the back. The next message. Well, Scott, get your ass down. My doodle. That's my doodle. But also, they were very calculated. So going back to the vision of them jumping off this ship, they were very calculated with this suicide. And I'm using emphasis on the word suicide because their understanding of, oh, maybe I can't say it like that on YouTube, but their understanding of the S word of, I don't feel right saying the S word, but their understanding of the S word is different from ours. Okay. So what I mean by this is when I connect to their version of suicide, it feels similar to the terrorists that flew into the Twin Towers on 9/11, right? It's like a prideful suicide. It's like they almost had an inner knowing that they wouldn't go to hell because hell doesn't really exist, and I'm not going to talk about that. Well, at least, I mean, I could be wrong, right? But let me just continue. It's like they had an inner knowing that they wouldn't go to hell because they felt like they had a justified suicide, okay? And so they waited, and it feels like they planned this, and this was all intentional with them, jumping off the ship. Now, as I'm trying to pull more energy, the energy becomes very, very faint, okay? And so with me having a controlling issue, I'm like, this is bothering, but this is bothering me. But you know what? I don't have time today. I have 4 clients today. If that's all the information you want to give me, then so be it. And so I let it go. And then as soon as I let it go, I hear a voice say, this was everywhere, though. There were so many people, jumping off ships. This was everywhere. All right. Then they showed me a full book. Oh my God, because they're speaking in my ear. Then they showed me a book full of 3,000 pages. And by the time so in this vision, white hands, ancient white looking hands, I don't know how to make that make sense, but ancient white looking hands are ripping these pages out. By the time, earlier, keep in mind, I said 3,000 pages, right? As these hands are ripping these pages out, it's only 250 pages left. And that's a lot of motherfucking pages that's missing. And then I hear a voice say, we are incredibly misinformed. Then I hear a voice say, Christopher Columbus is man-made. It's man-made. It's man-made. It's like certain fruits are man-made. Certain is man-made. And so now I do sense, so in this vision, right, meditation session, I do sense that there was someone that could fall under the traits of Christopher Columbus. But it feels like it wasn't as smooth of a process as history books are making it seem with him finding America, okay? It feels like Christopher Columbus has at least 300 deaths on his hand. Christopher Columbus, right? I don't know. It just energetically I feel like there's more that meets the eye with what I'm sensing, hearing, and feeling, okay? Now, later on, I became very overwhelmed because I felt like I was being drifted away from connecting to the Igbo people. But then I see a man, and he's dressed like he's from the late 1800s, the early 1900s, and he has a pick in his mouth. And he said to me, Jim Crow always has been around. It's not what the internet says. It has always been around. And I truly believe this. Then Spirit clapped in my face. And anytime they clap in my face, that is them letting me know we're done with this session. They do this with clients sometimes when I, meditate on celebrities, just everybody, to let me know that they're done. But I want to just, and so this is not the psychic medium in me. This is me as a person, Hanisi. And I just want to talk about something very quick, very quickly. So I have on my laptop, then they showed me a book full of 3,000 pages. And by the time white hands were ripping the pages out, the book only had 250 pages. And I'm going to fucking tell you something. I believe that shit. I'm going to fuck. You can call me mentally ill. You can call me what you want to call me. I don't know. And sometimes spirits, they be lying. They be lying. They riddlers, But I so believe them with that, because what Trump is doing now, and just like it's just everything with what's going on with, they're pulling out African American, they're pulling out certain oh my God, because they're in my ear, certain books out of the library, African American studies. Like it's like, yo, like they're literally like trying to get rid of history, of our history, I should say, and replacing their own history. And this is why I do the videos that I do. This is why I do the motherfucking videos that I do. And I know I'm not going to ever get 500,000, maybe 200,000 subscribers. Who gives a fuck? But the people that watch it, I love you. And I just want you to know I'm never going to stop making these videos, Miss Thing. But I believe that shit. I believe that there's so much, it's so much more that, meets the eye. I remember when I was in 5th grade. This is like 5th or 6th grade. And my English teacher, she asked all of us to dress up as somebody important, right? And I have hair in my mouth. When you have a dog, it's just hair all over you, right? And so some of my classmates, one was Pocahontas, but the Disney version. Other people were like, like rappers, just like, kid stuff. And guess who I the fuck showed up as? Bitch, Malcolm motherfucking X, bitch. What did I know about Malcolm X and in motherfucking 5th grade? Yo, that white lady, she was so motherfucking impressed. And, I just remember being 9 years old, 10 years old, 11 years old, telling, and this is when I had to go to Pennsylvania because something happened to my mom. I was in Pennsylvania for 2 years. And I went to an all-white school. I never seen that many white people in my life. It was a cultural shock for me. And I remember telling them how, white people would throw, Negro babies into the mouths of alligators, and crocodiles as entertainment for sport. No, not for sport, excuse me, for entertainment, and, for malicious intent. And those motherfucking white kids, they ain't know what the fuck to say. But how the fuck? And shout out to my Nana, because I don't know what I was doing saying that stuff at motherfucking 10 years old. $60 for a reading. All right. $60. The special ends the end of February. So if you, because I know y'all got your taxes. I know y'all got your motherfucking taxes. Y'all can spend a little coin on me. Y'all being cheap. Y'all being cheap. I know I cannot fucks with the cheap shit. Listen, if y'all don't take advantage of my $60 hour special, it ends February the 28th, then my prices is going back to $144 for an hour and $72 for 30 minutes. So I think you need to spend your taxes on me. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you guys so much for the support. You guys are literally changing my life. I'm so grateful. There's hair all over my face. When you have a golden retriever, golden dodo. Thank you guys for the support. I love you guys. Maybe I didn't get a lot of information, but fuck it. It's okay. I love you guys. Bye.